Hello.
Hola.
We are back again
Huh,
from another long absence.
Remember when we said we were going to start doing this more regularly? We lied.
We will.
We lied.
We will.
It's been like a month
We
again.
will. Eventually. We will.
Well, we're back with another rant.
That's what all of these are.
It's all just us caring incredibly
Too much
about things that objectively have very little meaning.
Yeah.
But today we're talking
Back
about...
to another episode of caring too much about things that don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Generally, but
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the differences between liking something that's real and something that's fictional. So like being in a fandom that surrounds like real people, like a band or a YouTuber or something like that. Those are really the only ones I can think of.
those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones. And then being in a fandom about like a book or a movie or a comic or something like that. TV show. Just, shit that's not real.
For the purposes of this podcast, I'm just gonna call them real fandoms versus like fictional fandoms, even though obviously the fandoms are real, the fandoms aren't fictional.
Sometimes you wish they were.
But that's just the easiest way to distinguish them from each other.
So a lot of the things that I want to talk about are things that make me incredibly angry. But starting off light, there's just a lot of differences between liking these two things. Like, if something's fictional, you tend to learn way more about the person in question than you do if it's something real, because, real people have, their private life. They have things that they don't really, want to share with the public, whereas a fictional character, good story writing usually involves really getting to know this character, getting to know their backstory, their motivations, their deepest, darkest secrets and flaws.
Yeah.
You just you get to know them more, which can be really cool. And, a lot of times they have, a tragic backstory TM, and that can usually be seen as a good thing, something that, adds a lot to the character development, and you can love and appreciate those story arcs. Like, I know my one friend, she just loves any story arc where her, favorite character just gets their shit rocked. And I like those too sometimes. Not all of them.
Fucked up.
We're all fucked up. But,
we like to watch fictional characters suffer for some reason.
It's like in the Umbrella Academy, one of my favorite parts of the show is, Klaus and Dave.
Even though
it's painful. It sucks because, there's just death and destruction and sadness. But I like seeing one of my favorite characters go through that because it, kind of gets me to understand him more and,
and it's also,
more.
you can appreciate the storytelling value of it being able to make you, feel things.
Yeah, you can appreciate, wow, somebody was really able just to make something up and have it hurt this badly. Endgame is one of my favorite movies, even though I'm upset 3,000 every time I think about it. Or in Star Wars The Clone Wars, one of my favorite story arcs in that whole show is the one with, what's his name? Fucking frog-ass motherfucker. General Krell. I hate that bitch. But, one of my favorite story arcs in the whole show is the one with him in it, because, well, one of my favorite characters is, the main character in that story arc, and he's usually a side character, but also because he goes through some shit in that story arc. Bad things happen. It's distressing, but it's
weirdly,
good.
Entertaining. Probably just because, conflict is entertaining. It's what makes if a story had absolutely no conflict, it would be boring as shit.
Yeah.
So it's bad things happen, and that's it's a weird thing to find entertaining, but it's like the only thing that makes the story interesting.
Yeah, that is absolutely not the case with
That would
things.
be weird. Is basically like angst is a thing in fictional fandoms that people like. If that's a thing in real fandoms, that's weird as fuck.
Like, you can like, like, you can look at a real life person that you admire that's been through shit, and that can make you look up to them and make you have more respect to them. But if you enjoy it and it makes you feel like anything other than like sad and like want to give them a hug, then there's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't take pleasure in the pain of other people.
Yes.
Like, you can look at them and be like, wow, they really went through some shit, and they're still going strong. It can be inspirational. It can make you have a lot of respect for what they...
things can be inspired, but it's like the overcoming part, that's the part that you like, yeah!
You don't want to see the lead singer of your favorite band get his, like, fucking teeth knocked out, and then you're like, yeah! Like, you're like, oh, no! Like, it's not a good thing to have a tragic backstory, for lack of a better word, if you're a real person.
Yeah.
Like, it just sucks.
Yeah. Because they're real.
Because they're a real person, like, they really had to go through that.
Fictional stuff, it doesn't matter because they're fictional, so it's like, you don't... That's basically, I feel like, the main difference is with fictional people. You don't have to respect them as a person with their feelings, because they're not real. They don't care what you say about them or think about them, because they don't exist.
Yeah, it's like you can believe whatever you want about fictional people, and you can stand them way harder than you can stand a real person without it being creepy and weird, and you can you can like characters that are evil.
Yeah,
you don't have to respect them as a real person, and you don't have to kind of reconcile whether you like how you like them with their actions. Like, if you like a really problematic person in real life, it's just kind of like, why? That's shitty. Don't support a shitty person. But if you want to, like, fucking watch Hannibal and like a cannibal, then you can, because it's not real. He's not actually hurting people.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no real life consequences for... Well, I mean, they can have, like, an effect on the world and, like, our culture, but it's, like, for the most part, generally.
Like, you can recognize that a character is a horrible, awful person and then still be like, but they're fun to watch. Like, Moriarty. I love Moriarty.
From BBC Sherlock.
Sherlock. I don't want him to be dead because I like watching him. He's fun.
He's a murderer.
He's a psychopath. I really wasn't as big of a fan of him in the 4th season, because I was like, you really helping this chick really put my man through it.
But he's fun. He's an entertaining character, so people like him, even though he's objectively the worst.
If he was a real person, it's like...
He'd be terrifying.
It's like people that like serial killers, like real serial killers. It's like, I like Moriarty, who kills people indiscriminately. But if you like Ted Bundy, you need to stop that shit immediately, right now.
Because we noticed this, because, like, in recent years, the biggest fandoms we've, like, been a part of were, the fandoms we've been, like, the most, like, participating in have been, like, bandoms.
Yeah.
Because music controls our whole life now.
Yeah.
But it's, like, but then, like, the Umbrella Academy came out, and, like, Marvel was doing a bunch of shit. So then we got really into, like, those two, like, fictional fandoms, and then we noticed there's quite a large difference.
Yeah, it's like, in
the behavior. Basically stuff that's pretty standard behavior for fictional fandoms is kind of really yikes. when it's
Yeah.
real people, which then of course creates a lot of conflict in real fandoms because a lot of people still act like that. I guess usually just because like they're just sort of like since they're. Sometimes I feel like there's just a bit of a disconnect where people don't fully process that that's a real human who really exists.
Yeah, I found that both can be toxic, but
Well,
in
yeah,
very
obviously.
different ways. Like fictional fandoms tend to have that idea of where it's like, oh, it's fictional, so what's the problem? And I know we just went on a big tirade about it's fictional, so there's no problem. But there are cases in which it's still a problem.
Yeah, like they can affect a culture and what people like think is okay or not okay.
Yeah.
But like
It is a problem when the lack of consequences that you feel for fictional things spill into real life.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you like I said before, it doesn't matter if you like a villain in real life, but if you know, not caring that this person murders people in a fictional thing spills into you not caring if someone hurts people in real life, then it's like, it's bad now.
Yeah, it's like they can certainly have media can certainly have an influence on people, but usually like but not for like everything. Like for instance, like using the extreme example of like a murder. Like no one's gonna like enjoy watching a villain and then be like, I'm gonna go murder people now because everyone mostly knows that murder is wrong.
It's like the whole thing where people are like, violent video games are making people more violent, because it's like, they're not really. It's like you can, like, you know, you can see and enjoy violence in a fictional sense and then, you know, still know that it's bad in real life. But
Like-
it becomes a problem if someone somehow doesn't know that.
Like we're pacifists,
Yeah.
but we can still like, you know, pump our fists and cheer at like Marvel characters when they're like gunning down like 100 people because we
Yeah.
don't care about the nameless evil extras that they just all like take
Yeah, it's
out.
like, I'm a pacifist. I don't like the entire concept of war, which I think most people do, but I disagree with it as an entire concept. Still find it very entertaining to watch Steve Rogers just fucking yeet some Nazis out the window. You know, like,
it doesn't matter. I mean, they're even in real life. It's like
even in
Nazis.
real life, punch Nazis. maybe don't shoot one if you just see one, but like definitely punch them. That's very
my
valid.
sympathy is limited for Nazis. As much as I have a respect for human life generally, no matter who they are, my sympathy is quite limited.
I
If you
really,
are a Nazi.
you know, I will fundamentally disagree with it, with, you know, violence, but, you know, I'm not gonna really feel bad for you if you're a Nazi and your shit gets robbed. Like, that's just, like, you're kinda asking for it, being a Nazi.
Anyway, that got off track.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, like, we're pacifists, but we don't care when we watch Captain Marvel fly through an entire fleet of evil alien ships and blow them all up and probably kill like hundreds of people.
It's like, I don't, you know, whatever.
Like, we don't even, most of those people are never even on screen. Why would I give a shit?
I've noticed that with things like that, it also depends on the morality of the show. Like, Doctor Who, killing people is bad. And they were like, if you kill someone, you are a bad person. So, like, if, you know, like, someone in the show kills somebody, you're like, oh no, that's not good. Or, like, you know, like, those moments when the Doctor gets really low and kind of goes a little bit crazy, you're like, oh no, that's not good. But it's like in, like, Star Wars and Marvel, they're, like, mowing people down constantly, because that's not, the point of the show is not, don't kill people. It's something else. So it's like it's fine.
All fiction has, like, internal moralities, and we could, like, spend forever talking about that. But that's not what this podcast is about. I feel like we've gotten off track.
Yeah. Basically, fictional fandoms can be toxic for a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons why real fandoms are often toxic is because people don't view the people that they're a fan of as real people. They still kind of think of them as, like, fictitious or like
Or
objects or like not really like it's like they know they're real but they don't feel real.
yeah.
So they don't treat them with the respect that you
like,
should
and I
treat a
kind
person
of like
with.
have that. Like
Yeah.
I know in my brain they're real. They don't like feel real to me.
Yeah, it's like when you go to
But-
a concert and then like Brandon Urie's standing in front of you and you're like, wow, he's a real person in the 3D who I'm looking at with my eyeballs. And that's normal, but it's when that disconnect causes you to not respect that person the way you would respect like one of your friends or like someone that you know as a real person in real life that it becomes a problem.
Like I have sometimes have difficulty fully processing that these people are real humans, but I still know in my brain that they're real humans, so I respect them as I would a real human because they are one.
Yeah, it's like they just like people I've noticed just so many times that it's like they're like you're supposed to like this person, but you treat them like shit.
And then I
Like-
noticed that the things that I would consider being like treating them badly in a real fandom, when I got to a fictional fandom, it was like everyone was doing it and I didn't care because again, they were fictional and you don't have to respect their feelings because they don't have any.
Yeah, like stan behavior when it's fictional is fine, but a lot of times it can become super toxic when it comes to real people, like shipping. Perfectly fine if you're, you know, if they're fictional people. If they're real, it's pretty fucking weird. Don't maybe, like, I mean, I guess if they're fine, if they say they're fine
some
with
people
it.
are fine with
Yeah,
it.
if someone says they're fine with it, then, like, you know, go buck wild, whatever. But, like, don't just do it automatically
guess
if
it's
you don't
also
know how the
fine
person
if they're,
feels
like-
about it.
I guess it's more normal if they're also like all in a relationship in real life.
Yeah, but
Some
again,
people
it kind of comes down to whether they say they're alright with it or not. Because, like, I've mentioned this to you before, there was a couple that, like, I used to follow who, like, people would be like, oh, I ship you guys so much. And they were like, we don't like it when you say that. Just say that you think we're a cute couple or whatever. Move on. We're not comfortable. We feel like it kind of dehumanizes us. And it's like,
Which-
that's valid.
That's fair. I mean,
It's
it
like-
basically be like I ship you and I think you're cute. Basically, are the same thing.
Yeah, but it's
in
like, if
most
it's a
ways.
real person, you have to respect how they feel about the issue. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to give a shit about whether or not two fictional characters care if you ship them, because they don't care. They're not real. But if they're a real person, they do care, and you have to respect that. Same with, like, fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, if someone, like, you can write fan fiction about whatever character you want, but if it's a real person, you have to make sure they're cool with that, because a lot of people aren't.
a lot of people are.
A lot of people are, but a lot of people aren't.
Like a lot
and
of
it's-
YouTubers I know find fan fiction like kind of weird, but like also kind of funny. So they're like, whatever.
Yeah. But it's like, and, you know, it can get really creepy really fast.
Yeah. There's some like fan fictions that can be creepy even if they are like fictional, but like
Yeah.
that's
We could talk about that later. Or like, you know, having headcanons for a real person.
is
Maybe don't do that.
that's pretty weird.
Wanting to know every detail about a real person. Don't do that. I know you're used to fictional characters, you get their whole backstory, you get their whole this, but you have to realize that real people that really went through shit might not want to talk about it, and you trying to dig into their personal life or try to pressure them into telling you everything you want to know is not good. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Not everything's super weird when you translate it from fictional to like real. Like fan art is pretty much entirely acceptable in both. It's as long as it doesn't like cross over with like fan fiction or shipping or whatever.
Or like, not safe for work. That's also pretty weird. Don't do
I
that for a real
that's
person.
like I consider that like crossing into like fan fiction kind of territory.
Yeah.
But like you know,
You want to draw your favorite YouTuber? Hell yeah. You want to draw your favorite book character? Hell yeah.
it's like
It's
it
like-
doesn't matter because it's like you know no one's gonna think that's super weird unless you're drawing something super weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I feel like sometimes even in wheel fandoms it might be even more appreciated. Because, like, the person who actually, like, you standing has a better chance of seeing it.
Yeah, though, I mean, it can be like that with fictional characters.
Yeah,
with fictional
like, the
stuff,
people,
but, like, the people that made it.
Yeah, the people who made it can see it and appreciate it. But I feel like for some reason, I feel like it's just more likely, like, when you're directly standing the real person for them to see it, just because usually it feels like fictional fandoms, sometimes the creators are more disconnected from them because they work at, like, movie studios or, like, TV studios.
Yeah.
So not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time, but sometimes.
But sometimes, in some cases. Like, if I feel like a YouTuber is more likely to see your fan art than, like, someone who, like, writes a show that you like.
Yeah.
But, like, they'll still appreciate it, because it's...
Yeah, like, if it's for a TV show, the actor that plays that character would probably really appreciate, you know, fan art of that character.
Yeah, it's like... Fan art is, like, pretty much... like, good to go.
Yeah. It's appreciated no matter what it is. Like, no matter what it's for, as long as, again, it's not weird.
As long as it's not crossing over with, like, shipping and fan fiction kind of territory.
Mm-hmm. But I just feel like, in general, people just, like, one of the big problems with real-life things like fandoms that we've noticed is that again, people just don't treat these people like real people. They treat them like they're fictional and like they don't have feelings and they don't... You're supposed to like them, but you don't treat them with respect. Like Brendan Urie. He had to move out of his, you know, like, dream home because people found his address and kept coming to his house. And, like, he had to stop doing meet and greets after Kinky Boots because people kept screaming and yelling at him, even when he told them that messed with his anxiety and he didn't like it. And he was gonna have to stop doing it if people kept doing it. And, like, it's just people, a couple of like, bad eggs just really ruining real people's lives and experiences. Because it's like, if you're one of those people that kept screaming at Brendan doing Kinky Boots, how do you think all those people that wanted to meet him feel now that they didn't get to because you wouldn't respect him as a person and stop yelling in his face?
Yeah.
You know? Or, like, I know that both members of 21 Pilots have dealt with people digging into their personal lives and trying to find their address. Or, like, contacting their family members.
Which is really weird.
Don't do that.
But that's very, very... few people.
It's a very like small minority, but it can really fuck things up for both the people and the rest of the fan base. Like, it can make the creators feel unsafe and feel disrespected and, like, their fans don't care about them. And then again with the like with the Kinky Boots things, it can ruin the experience for other fans. So it's like, just treat people like human beings, you know?
Real fandoms and fictional fandoms should have completely different, like, codes of conduct.
Yeah.
Like, with fictional, if you're standing a fictional person or a fictional thing, you can just go buck wild. Who cares? Who gives a shit? They're fine. You can't hurt a fictional character, because it doesn't matter, they're not real.
Yeah.
But, like, real fandoms, you gotta have some, like, you know, rules.
You can hurt a real person. You can hurt their feelings. You can make them feel unsafe. It's like... God, there was this one thing that happened, like, a while ago that just had me so incredibly angry. It was, like, when Dan Howell first started doing, like, stuff on YouTube and, like, he posted stuff on, like, Photo Booth a lot, he would, like, when he would reach, like, certain milestones of followers on Photo Booth, he would, like, post pictures of him where he was, like, basically naked. And he's talked since then, and he's mentioned it after that, and he said that he hates those pictures. And he did it because he felt like he had to do it to, like, get famous. And it says that when he sees that he doesn't want people to look at them. And and it makes him feel like shit when he thinks about them. And people know that, and they still post them.
Yikes.
Like, I saw an Instagram account that had one of those pictures on there, and I thought, give them the benefit of the doubt. They probably didn't know that he doesn't like those pictures. And so I left a comment and I said that he doesn't like those pictures and it makes him feel like crap and he doesn't like them getting spread around. And that it would probably be a good idea for them to, like, and it was like one of those posts that had like 10 different posts that were all like unrelated, and I said it would probably be a good idea to repost this without the last slide, because, you know, if you respect him as a person, you don't want him to feel like garbage. I assume that if you like someone enough to have a fan account about them, you wouldn't want them to feel like shit. But they replied to me and said that they know that he doesn't like it and they just don't care because it's not like he's going to see it, and just because I posted it doesn't mean I'm spreading it around, which makes no goddamn sense at all.
If because you post something on the internet, you have split it. You have showed it to people.
You have showed it to people who can then screen cap it and repost them itself, or just more people have seen it because you've posted it. I knew about those pictures because I saw another post where people didn't have those pictures up. They were talking about how Dan hated them and how if you respect him, you wouldn't spread them around. So it's like, I saw that picture when I hadn't seen it before because this fuckhead posted it, and they just didn't care that it made someone that they're supposed to like feel like garbage.
So
it makes me so angry.
Loud.
It makes me so angry that you're supposed to like this person, and you don't care that something you're doing makes them feel like shit.
Yeah, that's another thing I see that I feel like along with like the disconnect from like reality in the sense that they don't feel like a real person, is that people are like, oh well, they won't see it. It's like the internet's huge, they won't see it. Like, you know, what they don't know won't hurt them, I guess. But it's like, they might, bitch.
They might see it, and even if they don't, you should, as a person, have respect for how they feel. Like, any person who's ever been like, oh, what they won't know won't kill them, that means you know what you're doing is shitty. And you are being a shitty person, even if they never find out about it, you still did something wrong.
Yeah.
And you should be better than that. And then it's
fandom's fun.
I know.
This is why I don't interact with fandoms as much as I used to.
Yeah, and then it's like with that person when I said don't do that, like, they got pissed at me. People get pissed when real people aren't fictional, I guess. It's like when people don't want to share every detail of their lives, or when they won't stop for autographs, or will have to cancel shows for some reason, or like don't appreciate when you stalk them or treat them like they're less than a human. It's like, they don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
Content creators don't, some people act so entitled. And this happens with fictional things, too, but in a different way. But it's like, people, just because you like a show or you like a person doesn't mean that person or the person that made that thing owes you anything.
Especially because with a lot of fandoms, they're YouTubers are pretty big in fandoms now, and a lot of it's for free.
Yeah,
YouTubers, they give you not even paying them, you supporting them because you're watching ads and that gives them their money, but you don't.
You are not paying that. You are getting this shit for free. They don't owe you anything. Appreciate what they create for you and what they choose to share. Put yourself in their shoes and respect their boundaries. Respect that they have feelings. Respect that they don't want to share certain things or do certain things. Respect that just because they're famous, they're not going to want to stop every second of every day and do things for you. Respect that they're not going to appreciate it if you find their house and come to their home while they're there and demand to meet them. It's like, why do you think that they would be okay with that? Nobody likes it when fucking, like Mormons or like Jehovah's Witnesses come to your house to accost you of things. Why do you think that someone would appreciate you coming to their house just because you like their music or you like this thing they made? When, like, they don't know you, they don't, like, they want to be left alone in their home just as much as you do. Just because they're famous doesn't mean that they just get no privacy or respect. Just because they decided to put something they made out in the world doesn't mean that just all respect for them is off. You don't have to, like, respect their privacy. It doesn't mean they asked to be treated this way. It doesn't mean their families and friends asked to be treated this way.
A lot of them didn't even ask to be famous. They were just doing stuff for fun, and then they got really popular, and they were like, okay, this is cool.
I mean, it's like, obviously when you put something out into the world to see it, you want people to look at it, but that doesn't mean you want people to treat you like garbage.
It doesn't even mean you want, like, that many people. Like, most of these people, like, start doing this without, like, they didn't expect to be, like, as famous as they are. They were just like,
this is something I want to do.
And if I'm making the thing, I want, at least to give people a chance to, like, look at it.
Yeah. It's just like
it
shouldn't be that hard just to treat someone that you're supposed to like, that you're supposed to look up to, like you enjoy something about them.
So loud.
I'm sorry. Like, you enjoy something about them. It shouldn't be that hard for you to want to treat them nicely. You're supposed to like them.
Like, they didn't, like... And then there's, like, a whole other thing where it's, like, people are like, oh, well, they're famous and rich or whatever, so, like, it's this weird thing where people assume that once you're, like, rich and famous, I guess you just don't have emotions anymore. Because it's, like, they shouldn't care. It's, they're lucky, basically. It's, like, they're lucky, which means that nothing bad can happen to them ever, I guess.
It's like, okay, yeah, they're lucky because they get to make a living off of something they love doing, and they're lucky that people like something that they created that much, but they're not.
They know that.
They know that. They're not lucky to have people treat them like shit and try to find out things that they don't want, that, like, try to, like, learn, like try to make them share things that they're not comfortable sharing, and try to track them down and make them do things, and, like, insult them and share things that make them feel like trash just because people like their stuff. Like,
essentially, just because someone got lucky in, like, one or two aspects of their life doesn't mean you can just treat them like garbage because they shouldn't care. That's a terrible argument. You are the worst.
Yes. Shifting back to fictional fandoms. Just because something is fictional doesn't mean that toxic behavior can't leak into real life.
Yeah.
Two big examples. Sherlock fans. After season 4. We had a whole thing about this before, I think. And Aphmau fans. We don't watch her anymore, but I still saw some shit TM when we did.
And we still follow some of the voice actors, so we still...
Well, we follow one of the voice
We follow one of the voice actors. His name is Patty.
Patty's cool.
We
stand
great.
Patty. He's very
he has
wholesome.
a YouTube channel. He's like a voice actor. He voices one of the characters. Even if you don't know who Aphmau is and you don't give a shit, he's funny and he's very
Which you
wholesome.
maybe shouldn't, because your writing's not good.
But he's really funny and he's really wholesome, and you should go find him if you've never heard of him, because he's great.
Yeah, but by that way, we still
have to interact.
We still have to look at some of the Aphmau fandom, and they're so garbage. They're so garbage. Both of those fandoms have, in the past, attacked creators and actors. The actors is the real weird part because
actors
of something
don't
they
have-
didn't like. Because the story didn't turn out the way they wanted. Because
Star Wars fans do that too.
yeah,
Don't you love
because
it?
you're in the.
This is why I don't interact with fandoms. I keep my distance.
Yeah, Star Wars does that a lot too. Specifically with Sherlock and Aphmau, it's about ships. They get
Always.
so if you
Always.
get so incredibly angry about because of how strongly you feel that two fictional people should be in love, that you attack people about it. And especially
feel
the
like-
actors that have nothing to do with how the story came out. You need to reevaluate your life.
I feel like a good rule of thumb is, with real people, give more of a shit about them as people. And with fictional people, please, for the love of God, give less of a shit about them.
Like, treat real people like real people. And treat fictional people like fictional people. It is not the end of the world if the creator of the show you like kills off a character you like, puts a character together with a different character. It may be upsetting, it may suck, but it's not worth getting so angry about. And especially with the Aphmau thing. I mean, part of it is that a lot of her fans are like 9, and 9-year-olds are incredibly dumb.
Yeah,
Generally
just
speaking.
look at our comments.
Like,
We get a lot of nonsense in our comments.
like, you know, no offense to any 9-year-olds watching, which you shouldn't be, but like, kids are fucking stupid. There's a whole subreddit called that. But it's like, somebody, by that time, you should know, someone should have taught you not to be a jerk to other people. But like, with the Aphmau fandom, there were real, actual people. Real, actual human beings who thought this was logical, to the point where Aphmau had to make like 2 videos about it, where they would yell and attack a voice actor and or their significant other, because their significant other was not the voice actor that played the character that the fan ships the voice actor's character with. So like Patty, he plays a character named Travis. There were people, and most people ship Travis with a character named Caitlin. The voice actor who plays Caitlin is married. People attacked the voice actor who played Caitlin because the person that she is married to is not Patty. Because they ship their characters.
So
And
loud.
I'm sorry. And if that is how you think, you are actually crazy.
Or you're like 7.
Even if you're 7, who thinks that? I wasn't thinking that shit when I was 7.
Very stupid 7-year-olds.
Is it a cool thing when you find out that the actors who play characters that are like a couple are also a couple in real life? Yeah.
That's cute.
That's cute. That's some cute shit. Okay? I also just find it cute when there's just like actors whose significant others play like their enemies. That's happened before. When did that happen?
Wasn't it like Ron Swanson and Tammy from Parks and
Yeah! Like the guy that plays Ron Swanson and the girl that plays Tammy, who are like mortal enemies in the show. And, like, Ron thinks that Tammy needs to burn in hell. They're married in real life. And they've been married since before that show even existed. Which means that they just thought that would be cute. And that would be a fun thing to do. And that's, like, the cutest shit in the world.
And
Alright?
impressive acting skill.
It's impressive. It's, like, it's cute when that happens. But it doesn't mean that when it doesn't happen, then they're doing something wrong. Like, what the hell?
Like, they're just being human people.
Yeah, basically, if your ship makes you so angry that you attack people, you need to reevaluate your life and maybe step back and realize that something shouldn't make you that angry. And if something does make you that angry, maybe you shouldn't like it anymore. Like, if a ship makes you if you want Sherlock and John to get together so bad that you're gonna attack the actors and the creators because they don't get together, maybe that is a sign
that you just don't like the show
that
anymore.
that one, you don't like the show anymore, and two, that you care too much about this, and three, that maybe you don't need something that gives you that much stress in your life. Like, take a step back and maybe focus on something else for a while, because that can't be good for your mental health, and it sure as hell ain't good for anyone else's well-being either.
That's always confusing, is that there are people who get so angry about, like, anything that happens in every fandom, but then they're still in the fandom, and they still, like, there's a lot of Star Wars fans who just hate the new movies, which I guess is fine, you don't have to like them. But it's like, then why are you watching them? Why are you still a fan of Star Wars if you hate it so much?
You can say you're a fan of Star Wars, but only the original trilogy, and that's fine. If something makes you so angry, why are you so desperate to still watch it?
Why do you interact it so much? Why do you look at it? No one's making you look at things that you hate. Just stop. Like, just give up.
We realized that with Aphmau. We kept watching the show, and then we realized that we spent most of the episodes just being like, this is stupid. Why are they saying that? Why are they doing that? I'm so angry.
Why have they been in this one room for the past 4 episodes? Please, for the love of God, do something.
And then it's like, alright, we clearly don't like this anymore. So we should just stop watching it. And you know what? It's improved my quality of life. Maybe not, like, drastically, but, like, a little bit. So it's like, even if you love the original, like, I still love some of the characters that Aphmau made. And I, like, appreciate the joy that it used to bring me. But even if you used to love Star Wars, and even if you still love the original trilogy, you don't have to keep watching something if it upsets you. Just stop it.
We
it's
did that
so
with
much
Star Wars
nicer.
Rebels too, because we were like Star Wars fans. We really liked the Clone Wars, and Rebels was kind of like, it had some of the Clone Wars characters, and so we tried to watch it. We hated it. It was the worst. So we stopped watching it, because it's like, even though we're fans of Star Wars, that particular version of that particular part of it we didn't like it, so we stopped and we ignored it.
I know better. I know just as well, like, I know probably better than most people the desire to want to like everything that something you like has. Like, I like all of the bands that I like. I like every single song that they've ever released, even, like, their shitty demos. And it's like, when I get into something, I want to know everything about it, and I want to like, if when I get into a new YouTuber, I want to watch all of their videos. When I get into a new fandom, I want to know, like, everything there is to know about the lore, and, like, how it's made, even, a lot of times. And it's like, I know that you want to like everything. Like, I know that, like, well, it seems like a lot of Star Wars fans don't want to like it, because it's not like it's unwatchable garbage, but even if you don't like it, it's like, it's like, I understand the want to watch everything that came from this thing you like, but if it doesn't make you happy, it is so much nicer to just not subject yourself to it.
Like, I know if you really like the original trilogy, you want to go see the sequels and stuff, because you want to like it. It's like, even if you don't like the last one, you want to like this next one. But then, yeah, like you said, a lot of them don't see, like, it seems like a trailer comes out and they're like, it's gonna be garbage. And it's like, if you think it's gonna be garbage, then don't fucking watch it. Like, presumably you're watching it because you want to like it. You are expecting, or at least hoping, that you will like it.
But even if you don't, it's fine. stop putting yourself through this stress. It's so much better for your just general happiness as a human to not subject yourself to something that you don't enjoy. But anyway, back to more fictional toxic behavior, because it's not just being angry when something doesn't go your way. There's also liking things. Like, even if you're doing, okay, well, if you're doing, even if what you're doing is enjoyable to you, there's still times when it's not good. And you shouldn't do it, even if it's fictional. Like, the first thing that I come to is, like, a lot of, like, headcanons and fan fiction and stuff like that is just, like, so problematic. Just, like, the worst shit ever. Like, there's a lot of people who, like, ship incest ships. Or, like, you know, like, God, like, or, like, pedophilia. Or, like, they have fan fictions that have really bad power imbalances. Or even, like, abuse and, like, rape and stuff. And it's, like, that's not good.
That's what we were talking about with, like, you know, sometimes, like, just because it's fictional doesn't always, like, mean there are no consequences. Because stuff like that can, like, media can, like, normalize certain things. As if it's portrayed as, like, normal or good. Like, the reason, like, you know, people get away with liking villains is that the shows, like, they're villains. Like, they're clearly portrayed as, like, this is not, like, a good thing that they're doing. And you can be like, yeah, it's not, but they're fun to watch, so I like them as a character, and it's like, that's fine.
You can like unlikable people as a character, it's when you don't recognize that a behavior is bad, that it's a problem.
Yeah.
So, like, there are people that make fan fiction and headcanons, or just content. Like, there are content creators that put shit like that in there, and don't treat it as something bad, and it's like, it is bad. If something,
very bad.
If something that you make, even if it's fictional, if your shit, even if it's fictional, even if it's fan content, normalizes abuse or negates the struggle of real people that really went through that shit, you're a piece of shit. You just
you have a problem.
If you think it's cute or romantic or even just a non-issue because it's fictional, you need to reevaluate your life and yourself, because nothing about that is okay.
Why are you so loud?
I'm sorry!
Jesus.
You can't...
I'm gonna go deaf from doing this podcast with you.
I'm sorry, I don't realize how loud I'm getting. I'm just very
You wanna
passionate.
look at the Go while it's recording.
Good job. But it's just like people feel like that because it's fictional, they're not really hurting anybody. But say that you put something abusive. Like, there's a lot of books, like, when you were going through that phase where you were, like, watching a lot of, like, book reviews, even for books that you haven't read. Like, a lot of them...
people making fun of things that are bad.
Yeah, I know, it's fun. But it's like, if you put something that, like, has, like, emotional, physical, sexual abuse in it, and then don't portray it as something bad, when someone looks at that and, like, you put, like, there's a ton of books that do that have, like, that's, like, a romance book, and it's just the most toxic, horrible, abusive relationship you've ever seen, but they phrase it like it's romantic and like it's cute, and people do that with fan fictions a lot, too, and it's like, somebody will read that, and then they might think it's okay, or someone that went through that will read it, and then see that you basically think that what they went through isn't bad, and that it's something good, something that they should feel happy about. And that can make them feel so, like, broken and so shitty. And that makes you a shitty person. You should not find things like that romantic or hot or anything like that. You shouldn't like that stuff. If you want to put it in a story to prove that to as part of like a character's backstory or like something that like traumatic that happens, that's fine if you phrase it as something that's bad, because that's just like, it's something that happens, unfortunately, and you can have it be something that happens to the character as part of the conflict, but you have to say that it's bad. If you try to romanticize it, then you're a piece of shit. And that's just the facts. Like, that's just how it is. Like, sorry, bucko.
Yeah. It's just, you can put, like, kind of fucked up stuff in, stories and stuff. You just have to say that. You just have to make it clear that it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And also that gets a little dicey when you're making, like, fan content, because, like, you know, that's probably not good.
Probably not. I mean, if it's something that, if it's fan content of something that's fictional,
though, even then
it's
be
a little
dicey, because like the people who made the thing might not want you to do that to it.
Yeah, but like if you're framing it as something that's bad and it's fictional, I don't really think
it's not the worst.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's maybe like a little bit odd that you'd like want to take something that someone else made and then be like, let's make it horrible. Let's just have this character just go through the worst shit that could happen to someone. Anyway, moving on. But it's like, if it's a real person, definitely don't do that. That is no go. No, do not pass even go. Do not collect the $200. Go directly to jail.
Even if they like someone who's like okay with like fan fiction and stuff, still no. I bet they're not okay with that. I will bet you money they are not.
Yes. So basically, moral of the story. Sometimes...
This was a very depressing episode.
It is. It's not good. Basically, moral of the story, treat people like human beings.
If they're real.
If they're real, treat them like a real person. Treat them nicely, treat them with respect. Understand that just because they make something you like, you don't owe them anything. If they're a fictional person, go buck wild as long as you're not hurting anyone that's real, you know? Like,
and also make sure to treat them like fictional people.
Don't
get too, like, worked up about it. It's fictional. If someone doesn't like a character you like, just, like, you know, let it go. I mean, you can, if you wanted to, like, this is gonna be a tangent, but it's like, you know, sometimes people like to, like, debate things, you know, like...
Yeah.
Like, I like this character because of this. I like this. I don't like this character because of that. It's like, you know, that's fine as long as you being, like, you know, respectful and, like, nice about it.
Basically, be respectful of real people. If what you're a fan of is real, respect them like a real person. And if something is fictional, respect the actors, respect the creators, and respect the other fans, and think about how something that you're, like, some fan content that you're making, even if it's about something fictional, can negatively impact someone who's real. And just, like, you know, it's not supposed to be stressful to like things. We shouldn't be even having to say a lot of this stuff. It should be pretty common sense to just not be a garbage human person. But on a lighter note, there's just a lot of differences between fictional things and real life things. And not all of them are bad. Yeah. Some of them are bad. Like when people don't realize that, you know, real people are real people.
This is supposed to be on a lighter note.
But a lot of them are just, like, are good. You can... like, see real people as something that's like see what they've been through and be inspired by it and respect it, and you get a chance to meet this person and
that's
like,
a cool difference.
Yeah, no, they're
real people. It's like, you know, with fictional people you kind of get that sad, with fictional things you kind of get that, like, sadness of, like, oh, this is not real, and, like, even if I like this character or like this world, this universe. It's like I could never really be a part of it, but it's like with real people, you get that, like, they're real. Their life is real. The things you think are cool about them, or the things you think are cool about their life or what they do. Those are real things that you can really do in real life.
Yeah, it's like you get to go to conventions and meet these people. You get to go to concerts and meet these people, or just see them and experience them in the 3D.
Like them if you want.
Yeah, you can be like them. Like, you can think it's the coolest shit in the whole world that Gerard Way is a singer and a songwriter and an artist and a comic writer and a TV show producer, and you can know I can do that too because he's a real person.
And he really did all that.
He really did all that.
So
even though
I can do it too.
And you can find real people that went through a lot of the same shit that you did, like 21 Pilots, and like how they have mental health problems. And you can look at them and know that they went through the same shit that you did, and they're still doing fine, and they're living their dreams, and everything's great. And you can know that they really did that. A real person really did that, and that means you can too. And then in fictional people, you can stand them really hard, and you can like evil characters even if they're evil, and you
can not have a care in the world because it's fictional.
And you can watch them just get the shit beaten out of them and just have the worst things happen to them and be like, yeah!
That's still a little weird.
It's still a little weird, but you can appreciate it from a narrative standpoint, and you can appreciate... Yeah, you can get escapism from it, and you can appreciate it from a narrative standpoint and how it grows them as a character, and you can, like realize how amazing it is that something that someone made up makes you feel this strongly, and that you can feel like you can love something so much that someone else made, and that it doesn't matter that they're not real. You can still get so much joy from them.
And you can still be like them in some cases. Like, if you heard that someone made an Iron Man suit, that's a thing that exists in the world.
That is the littest shit.
It doesn't look quite as cool in real life as it does on the movies.
He's just kind of like T-posing while like scooting forward through the air.
Like,
but someone made an Iron Man suit. Tony Stark really be doing that. The influence is real. Robert Downey Jr. is basically Tony Stark in real life.
He didn't make the Iron Man suit.
He didn't, but he launched a company that's like using technology to clean the world so we don't like die by 2030.
This is supposed to be the lighthearted ending.
But it is a lighthearted ending because...
Look at you, sound waves.
I'm sorry. Fictional people can have real influence, and they can be so fun to watch, and real people can be so inspiring and bring you so much joy and really have you know that they're really out there and you can do everything that they can do. And basically, liking things is fun and not supposed to be garbage, so do your part to make it not garbage. The end.